look at these asks that college football players, student athletes, incoming freshmen, people who have hype on them, 5-star recruits are asking, and some of this stuff becomes beyond reality at times. Now, you know that you want to know how much is going to be available in hard, cold cash when you're talking about maybe business deals, alum that have some things. But when you look at some of the asks for NIL deals, what's on the table when parents and student athletes are coming in? Some of these will blow your mind. Some of them make sense. They want to know some things, Finn. What kind of car deal?
That's fine.
What kind of living arrangement for a condo or a domicile? They want to know how much they can get in chartered flights. You know, can my parents and my auntie and grandpa get on a deal to get on a plane anywhere? And this is my favorite. I might have to take this one the next time I go into David Dickey's office. They're asking for land. Land.
Property.
What in the hell?
Son, go in there and see if we can't get 5 acres over here.
Holy Jesus.
David, I want to talk about this contract. I want to talk about this plot that I saw over there on the north side up there in Alpharetta.
Yeah, the article is fascinating from On3 Sports. It talks about all the different collectives, NIL collectives at different conferences and what goes on. SEC NIL Collective says, I've had more crazy things asked than ever before. Red carpet treatment, people wanting their families on chartered flights to home and away games. Car service for the entire family to and from games and around town. Stuff nobody is doing. At what point do you think you need to get a limo service and go see every away and home game? Why is that a reasonable thing? It's just not.
No.
So it's become...
Well, if you're close, maybe, but it's still not reasonable.
None of it's reasonable. None of it. It's a total joke.
Cars, you kind of get that. That's been going on for the last 30 years.
For who?
I mean,
for who?
30 years. That's been going on for 60 years.
NIL out. Let's just have a conversation. Take the NIL out of it, above board. Below board, student athletes been getting a whole lot of stuff. Clothes, money, cars. Stuff for their parents, homes for their parents. So stuff was already being provided for student athletes, not above board. Now that it's above board, the asks are a little bit egregious to some. You know, obviously a car deal, I don't think it's too much to ask when you see a lot of kids getting car deals. I think that's just par for the course now. And
I mean,
again, for who? The left guard?
Quinshawn Junkins.
No.
What do you mean no?
I'm talking about
yes.
Like there's a
left guard's getting a car.
Okay.
At Texas.
I'd be very surprised.
He may not be getting a Lamborghini.
Quarterback, defensive end, left tackle.
Those guys are getting that.
Running back. Those guys maybe, yeah. Again, I'm talking about the guys that are supposed to get it and maybe get it.
So who's supposed to get it and who's not? If we've got a car deal,
just like everything else in the world, whoever's performing, whoever's got the personality.
So you're starting offensive lineman at Texas, who just went to the college football players. You mean to tell me I can't get a car deal?
The problem is
I'm going to Alabama
college football is not set up on performance. It's set up on potential.
That's exactly
that you set everything up on what your stars are, when you're going to hit the field, what you did last year, what you potentially could do the second year. And you look at the University of Georgia, Carson Beck, he only got a chance to start for 2 years, and there were big expectations for year 2 based on year 1. He did okay.
ACC personnel staffer. We're talking cars, travel for the family, private jet hours. We get a lot of guys asking for penthouse condos for $6,000 a month.
That's what Bear Alexander wanted.
Every guy thinks that they need to be bought a car. We had a high school kid ask us to buy his parents a house. It was a $450,000 house.
Oh, my goodness.
That's I guess all you can do is ask, and they just tell you no.
Or they say,
the answer is no. 100% of the time is no.
Yeah, but guess what?
A house?
It may be no to you, but it's yes to somebody else.
Okay.
How bad do you want these players?
Not that bad.
How much do you want to win?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about people that are spending millions. I'm talking about tens and 20s of millions of dollars to put together rosters at this point in time. A car dealership, if you're like, just say you're in
Ohio
Atlanta.
State was the most we've ever heard of, and that was $20 million.
Well, Bryce Underwood,
they weren't even the highest paid, though.
Bryce
Oregon
Underwood
had the highest paid roster.
is getting $12 million.
Which is about the same, right?
couple of mil more.
Bryce Underwood's getting $12 million. One player getting one deal
Not
for $12
per
million.
year,
No,
but
but
that's-
total package from Michigan. And
Lex Luger?
well, Dave Portnoy, and some people might.
Well, you said the total package. Huh?
Oh, I see what you did there. No, but one guy is getting $12 million as a package. He's just coming out of high school, so I don't know all the details of what's in his.
Yeah.
You know, I would just think right now a car.
It's tough to coach in college football, but
Without
That's why
a doubt.
a lot of people are leaving.
Without a doubt.
tough to coach in college football. Like Michael Vick at Norfolk State, what's he supposed to do up there? I guess what is Norfolk State? Is
The
that
Spartans. We looked that up.
Oh, nice.
One AA maybe?
Is it? I think you're right. Yeah.
And I don't know what the level becomes as we go down in different. Like,
I got an
does a
idea.
D2 kid get anything?
I don't think so.
Well, he throws for 4,500 yards.
Well, he'll be
give him a
moving
car.
on.
I think the stinging thing is you could provide that and then the kid leaves.
Give him a 98 Renault.
That's why you need some governors on this thing. 404.
There should have been governors on it. That's the problem. When an article like this comes out and it lays out everything, normal American sports fans are going to look and go, oh my goodness, these kids are asking for cars. I challenge anybody, go back and watch that ESPN 30 for 30, whether it's Pony XS, the one about SMU where they were openly paying cash to players, and Eric Dickerson had a Trans Am. This is in 1981 or 1982. Or go back and watch The Best That Never Was, the one about Marcus Dupree. They were talking about a bunch of different stuff.
You didn't have to go to TV or Netflix. Go to some of these parking lots of some of these athletic facilities 10 years ago. I was over to Alabama. I've been over there. Should have seen what was over there. Foreign vehicles and luxury vehicles, Finn. This was years ago, and clearly they weren't on probation. They were able to work some deals under the table.
ACC NIL Collective guy had amassed. I had a transfer portal prospect ask me for $2.5 million. Not that we would have done that deal at any position, but he isn't even a quarterback, offensive tackle, or defensive end. It's the last position you'd pay that type of money to.
Kicker?
So people are, and again, I have a tough time with a lot of this because you got thousands, I think thousands is the right number, of kids in the transfer portal.
Yes. Yeah,
that
about
will never
1,000.
play football again for free anywhere.
Yeah. They blow
Or they're going to have to go down a level. There's kids that were in the D1 level that had a scholarship that are now going to have to go D2 or 1
$2.5
AA.
million, and you're not one of those positions I just talked about a minute ago.
But again, if you
Are
can
you
get
serious?
if somebody gives you a $30,000 car, and it's not going to be the school going out, hey, I got to go buy 10 $30,000 cars.
Right.
There's dealerships around town, and you walk over and go, hey, how can you guys help us out?
$50,000 and a car. I don't think that's crazy.
Oh, my
I'm just saying, if it's Texas or Ohio State or Georgia or
what do you
Oregon,
do as a car dealership owner?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to see? I mean, I'm just going to give guys at Georgia a nice car now. That's probably not happening with the history we have behind those guys. So what do you need to see? What kind of contract needs to be signed for you to give a kid at Georgia a $30,000, $50,000, $60,000 vehicle?
why would that be a bad deal? Look at
What kind of contract do you need to see signed? What stipulations need to? Is there a GPA register?
You're
Is
trying
there
to do transactional.
no issue?
You're trying to do. You need 10 touchdowns to get this
No.
car.
No, I agree. Your GPA has to be a certain amount.
Really?
You can have no traffic tickets, violations. If you do, I'm taking my car back.
Really?
Yes.
100%.
Absolutely.
All right.
If you don't, you're doing bad business by these
Do we
guys.
care?
Just handing
And I'm
out
not
vehicles.
saying that it isn't. By the way, Coach Prime just set a record. All of his entire football team had a GPA of 3.0.
That's awesome.
Since we care about GPAs right now. And I'm
There you
not
go.
pulling out anybody's name. I'm just
Talking
saying,
about 2.5,
do we
whatever.
really care what Nolan Smith's GPA was?
Me personally,
Do
no.
we really care what N'Kobe Dean or Jordan Davis's
Who is it
GPAs
we?
were?
Now,
I'm just
me
saying,
personally,
as
no.
fans.
As somebody
Of
that might
course
be
not as
doing
fans.
business with
Right.
these guys,
Yeah, but I'm talking
it's
about
accountability.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the paperwork to give the guy a car he can speed around town in.
Well, that's what they've been doing.
Yeah,
Well,
I know, but I'm asking you personally, if you had a dealership, what are the stipulations you're putting on a guy like that driving a car around?
I'm not making it, and I see where you're going.
Yes.
I'm not making it adversarial. If I'm approaching you for a car deal, I probably like you. I probably like the University of Georgia. You don't have to do too much. What I want you to do is ride my car. So when you go to the pros or you don't go to the pros, you become an exec somewhere with a college degree, you're buying cars from my dealership for a lifetime, and your family members are too. That's what's in it for me. So I don't
I just
need a
think
whole
we have
bunch
this
of
warped
stipulations.
idea of who and how many guys are getting cars.
404-231-16880. Anthony, what do you have to say about the asks? Car deals, cash, land.
Yes, thank you for taking the call. Listen, Netflix had an interesting take on Johnny Manziel. Okay, everybody knows he was a train wreck when he got to the NFL. The guy was already an addict, basically. But anyway, Johnny said something very interesting at the end of that documentary, and he said none of this stuff was here. He's talking about buildings and stadiums before he got there, and the guy only really played for 2 good years. You got to get it done if it's the quarterback, running back, or just that athlete that's going to be transcending. Yeah, you got to get it done. Because Texas A&M, they were competing. They have my daughter ran in the Junior Olympics there last summer. Okay, they had amenities that they never had before that the University of Texas had because of one dude. Yeah, you got to get the kid what he wants. The day of just taking complete advantage of the athlete and the coaches making all the money and doing it, now it's kind of over. Yeah, they got to kind of trend it back a little bit and put clauses in, maybe if there's a performance clause or something. But yeah, if you want to win, yeah, you got to get it done.
The problem is it's illegal to have a performance clause. Like, you can't do quote-unquote pay for play. Like, you can't say, hey, if you throw 35 touchdowns, I'm going to give you a $100,000 bonus.
If he can play or not, and what kind of personality he has. And usually you want to see Johnny Manziel go out there and do what he did for a year, and then you're like, yeah, I'm all in on this kid because he's a star.
Right.
Right.
Well,
but that's
also
one player.
That's right. It's one player. It's a quarterback.
Exactly.
It is a high-profile position.
Sure. Travis Hunter, a DB and corner.
High-profile position. He's a unique player, national star. So, yeah, the unique guy. Kareem always rises to the top and will be appropriately compensated.
Singleton kid from Georgia Tech.
Right, Eric Singleton.
Yeah. What did he get to go where he went?
Didn't he get a couple of mil to go to Auburn?
Well, look at Carson Beck.
Yeah, and guess what? He's probably going to be worth it.
Carson Beck got a Lambo, $2 million deal. He didn't win anything. He never won the SEC championship game. He got hurt in the second one, and
he was the starting quarterback they wanted this year.
He got knocked out. My point is, he didn't win a college football playoff game.
Yeah, but he was the starting.
The point is, he's a quarterback at Georgia, and some things come along with that when you're quarterback at Georgia.